First, don't give up. It's going to get tough. Don't take it going to be so easy or rosy. And then always get board of advisors, people who you trust, their sense of judgment that you can listen to. You need mentorship. Get as good every mentorship, every proper advice you can get. Be open to change your idea because sometimes the original concept can change along the line. So be willing to listen to professional advice and don't give up. Keep going.
Hey everyone, this is Devin Miller here with another episode of The Inventive Journey. I'm your host, Devin Miller, the serial entrepreneur that's grown several startups into 7-8-figure businesses, as well as the CEO and founder of Miller IP Law, where we help startups and small businesses with their patents, trademarks, and everything for their business. And if you ever need help with your business, feel free to reach out to us at strategymeeting.com. We're always here to help. Now, today we have another great guest on the podcast, and all guests, I always worry I'm going to mispronounce today, but I'm especially slightly nervous on this name, but I'm giving it my best shot, which is Chibueze Izugbo. Close enough. I don't know. But Chibueze is from Nigeria, or went to university in Nigeria, left university to start a business. I think did a bit of work in China for a period of time, and then came to the U.S. and went shopping for some items, and was just kind of looking at the items, was kind of wondering, you see a lot of Chinese-made items that are sold in the U.S., but how can you better understand if you have certain items you want to buy at different countries, you want to buy US made items, or you want to buy it from Nigeria or China or Mexico or anything else, how would you do that, and how can you improve that experience? And that kind of set him onto a bit of the journey where he's at today of launching that and going a bit further with that concept and that idea to make it a reality. So with that much as an introduction, welcome onto the podcast.
My pleasure. Thank you, David, and thank you for the opportunity.
So absolutely. So I gave the kind of the brief introduction, the brief intro. Well, take us back a bit in time about going to university in Nigeria and kind of how that or how your journey went from there. So maybe picking up from there.
Oh, okay. So actually went to university here, popular university called Federal University of Technology. But I dropped out to study business at my final year, actually, because I got admission from US, from McLean State University in Louisiana, and I got scholarship, actually. Some other schools in US at the time gave me scholarship, but I couldn't get visa to travel. And I wanted to do artificial intelligence at the time. And we don't have that offering here. I was doing applied physics at the time. So I actually always wanted the best. So I left to start business. Well, my family, I came from a very business-oriented background. Yeah.
So you did that, and it certainly makes sense. Hey, you're looking to have responsibility, support the family. Went to university for a period of time, and they're saying, okay, I would need to do something else as well. So then you start down that path, and I think that led you to China. Is that right, or do I remember that right?
Okay, yeah. So actually, after the university, I started business. The first thing I did was to go into PPE, personal protection equipment business. So I have one of my brother then, second son, was an international businessman. So he have a lot of Chinese companies that he was dealing business with. So I have some construction companies in Nigeria and oil industry in Nigeria that I went prospecting, telling them about supplying them PPE, and again, customize it, put their names on the shoes and all that from the factory. So that was like I had then. So I approached a number of companies. I got some orders. So I went to China and started importing those products. That's how I started. So I was actually going to China purely on a business trip. So I went there regularly, like 3-4 times a year. Sometimes 5 times a year. That was from 2008, actually, was my first trip. July 2008 was my first trip overseas. I was quite young then. And that is how I started. So going further to the time I came to US on a business trip as well.
So now how did you So you were going back and forth with China, buying some of the products, kind of that was initial entrance into doing that, into business and growing and figuring all of that out. Now, what brought you to the US, or kind of how'd you make that connection? Was it a desire to come
Right.
to the US? You had a business opportunity? Kind of what brought you to the US, and what did you do once you got here?
Okay, so like I explained, I started doing supply. I mean, doing contracting with companies, supplying PPEs. So
Mm,
I started thinking I need to build some brands. Contract can cease. A lot of things affect oil industry. Price of oil could go so low, and some of these companies will not require as much PPE as they want before. So I look at setting up other sectors. I went into cosmetics products, and then some um, grocery items and food items. So
mm,
first went to Germany, had a brand that I was marketing in Nigeria. And then I started thinking of Inventive, having, at the time in Nigeria, a lot of people were buying Red Bull, other kind of stuff. So, but I was thinking, can we have something like a gum, a chewing gum that can give you energy, that has caffeine and all that in it.
mm,
So I started a company that can do that for me. I got a British company and Australian company. There's one company in Australia then that their packaging was really so nice.
mm,
Then I got another company in US, in Maryland, actually, in Hunt Valley. And
mm,
I started discussing with them. So for them, their minimum order quantity was much lower than the one
mm,
in UK and Australia. So that was how I chose to make the product with them. And then that brought me to America. That was my first trip coming to visit the company, sign agreement for private level manufacturing, because they had to do my brand for me. And it was on that trip that the experience you mentioned earlier happened,
mm.
going to shopping mall to buy some things for myself and gifts I'm going to go give to people when I come back to Nigeria. And that's it. Yeah.
So now you have, come to the US, you continue on in the business, and then you have the idea of, hey, how do I start to kind of provide that information so people want to buy it from a specific country? And there's a number of motivations, right? It could be everything from, hey, I want to buy it from this country because I like if it's food, I like the flavor, I like the style or technique, to, hey, I want to support, the different causes or different countries. Hey, I want to support, new businesses in whether it's, South America or Africa or Asia or India or wherever, or I want to buy US made. So, you kind of have all those different motivations for why you'd want to do it. And you have this idea. Now, how did you go about kind of starting to build it, or to otherwise make it a reality?
Okay, fine. So that experience at Mercy Store in Maryland really changed a whole lot of things for me. Being somebody who traveled to China all the time and getting to that store, and then I'm seeing made in China a lot. Being my first time in US, I want to buy made in US brands. At least when I give my friends gifts in Nigeria or my family a
Mm,
gift, it's be made in US. So though I was able to buy one or two things there, but it got me thinking. I mean, how do we provide a platform where people can shop things based on where it's made? Okay,
mm,
maybe I want to buy made in US, like you mentioned, or made in Colombia, or made in Nigeria, or made anywhere. So that got me thinking of that. So initially, when I came back to Nigeria that year, I got an IT person here, a programmer here in Nigeria, and then I got one person in India. I
mm,
commissioned them to come over to the project. But then, being that such a platform never existed as a
mm,
one-stop platform, because what we do have is maybe a website showing made in US. You
mm,
don't have any one-stop platform where you can shop based on any country of your choice. Okay.
mm,
Then first idea came to my mind. I told them, okay, I want the website, the first page of the web, the front page to be like a word map. So you click on the one, the country where you want to shop from, and then you can start doing that. But when they first designed it, I look at it, I say, this is crazy. The
mm,
user experience is going to be crazy. So we started afresh. So we started designing it, modifying it. But as we were doing that, a whole lot of other things has to come in place. Because number one, if you
mm,
want to build one-stop platform where products made in any country of your choice can be found, okay, specific to that country,
mm,
then you need to also create the demand and supply in the sense that you have to find a way to supply product coming from some countries to vendors or the merchants that would want that in order to populate the marketplace effectively. Otherwise, you can have made in US, made in Nigeria, maybe 1 or 2 or 5 countries there. You won't be able to have broader representation of countries. Okay, so what I did was to say, okay, we have to do B2B as well. We have to create a B2B platform in it. So the platform is going to be both B2C and B2B. In other words, if you are in America as a business, you want to produce your product in Africa, you want to do African-made product, or Nigerian-made product, or a Colombian-made product, or whatever country, you'll be able to find companies doing private label or whatever for you, okay? And then if we see that a lot of buyers, a lot of shoppers are looking for product made in, say, Ecuador, we could tell you as a merchant that you are selling similar items. And we realize that there is a lot of interest for product coming for this particular type of product coming from Ecuador. So we can link you with the business there that can make your own brand for you. Say, for instance, South Korea is well known in some specific cosmetics items. Okay, so there's a lot of people who might have interest in getting brands from there. Okay, so we now develop the B2B coupled with the B2C in one platform. Then as that idea was going, as we were working on it, we still, then I started thinking of other issues as well. Because when I did my research, one of the Boston Consulting Group, BCG, report shows that a lot of Americans want to buy made in the US. Even a higher percentage of them can pay up to 15% more on US product for other countries. And I started seeing Germany, Japan, different countries, how people prefer things coming from there. But at the same time, there's something that's struck. A lot of people want to spend helping others. Some people who want to spend on locally made product in America want to support the economy. They want to support their community. Take, for instance, as COVID have ravaged a lot of businesses, mom and pop shops are closing. Some small businesses start testing their product. The first point where small businesses actually do test their product is at those small mom and pop shops in the streets, in their community. I've been a businessman, I've created a brand. I've created up to 15 brands in Nigeria that sells, not just in Nigeria, but in other African countries. First time when you create a brand, being a small business, you take it to those small shops where your community people go to shop, right? So if for this COVID that closes all the shops down, how are small businesses able to sell their product? Because even when you go to some online stores, you have to make a lot of advertisement and all that. So it's not so easy, okay? So I started thinking, even before COVID, how do we get involved women-owned enterprise products identified, minority-owned enterprise product identified, and then with the country of origin associated with product, also helping those who want to maybe support people in Africa, like you mentioned earlier, maybe they, as a way of direct wealth transfer to the people there. Because
so maybe just diving in or jumping in really quick. So, and I think that, the motivation, kind of why you do it, what you're trying to accomplish definitely makes sense. And that kind of brings us up to kind of where you're at today. And if I remember right, you guys have kind of done what would be a bit of a, a soft launch, so to speak, or you got the website up, you're starting to get vendors, you're starting to get people on board and starting to implement the project. So kind of give us an idea of kind of where you're at today and kind of what's the next steps, or kind of what, where things are heading now.
Okay, so we started July last year, which actually started November to register merchants on the Nigerian marketplace. So as of today, we have thousands of merchants on the Nigerian marketplace, and we have started selling from July, and we are receiving very good review, and a lot of people love it. The idea of shopping some certain things. Then we also notice some trends. A lot of people, our merchants here, also want to diversify their supply chain. So some people are looking for many US products and all that can buy it wholesale. So this time we are launching in US. We've started onboarding merchants on our US marketplace. We just opened it on ebosi.com for merchants to get registered and put their product there. And then hopefully by end of this month, it could be open for consumer to start shopping on it. So not just consumers, but also the wholesale services, the B2B part of it.
Mm.
Yeah, so we kind of want to serve as gateway to African market, not just for retail, for B2B, for wholesale services. The same thing for African businesses to US and Canada. And at the moment, we partner with Chibueze. They are based in Chicago for our local logistics, both in US and Canada, for fulfillment services and warehousing.
No, I think that sounds exciting and fun. A lot of progress to be made, and a lot of fun opportunities down the road. So now, as that kind of brings us up today, maybe we'll, as we wrap towards the end of the podcast, I always have two questions that I always hit on, and also we'll jump to those now. So the first question is: so along your journey, what was the worst business decision you ever made, and what did you learn from it?
Yeah, I think the worst business decision I've ever made was doing a business, one particular business in a foreign country without hiring an attorney. In
Mm.
fact, I would advise if you want to do business that you're ready to bet up to $50,000, even if it's $25,000, you need an attorney.
Mm.
Because I had this business, the first business I told you I came to US, I lost $127,000 because I went to this company, they made a product for me because I didn't have an attorney when I came to sign the agreement and all that. But unfortunately, I realized the company were not really producing much, that kind of thing at that time. So they tried making the product. It took us a long time to get the formula, the formulation and all that.
Mm.
Then when they made the first batch, it was not good. They apologized. They tried again, tried again. I saw the red flags. But at the end of the day, when they ship the product to me, within 3 months, I have to do a recall. It's a massive recall because the product was messing our shelves. But because and then I wanted to come over to negotiate with them. I was denied visa at that time, though I later got my visa, but it took almost more than a year. So because I didn't have an attorney then to discuss, to intervene on my behalf, I lost that money. I lost the
Mm.
business. I lost everything. So the best advice I will give is always, even if you're doing $25,000 business, get an attorney to help you straighten things out, especially even local. It doesn't have to be foreign country, even local. Yeah.
No, and I think that's a mistake certainly to learn from, and great advice that you learned from it. So, and it kind of transitions into the second question, which is now if you're talking to someone that's just getting into a startup or a small business, what would be the one piece of advice you'd give them?
The one piece of advice I will tell anybody who want to go into startup is first, don't give up. It's going to get tough. Don't take it going to be so easy or rosy. And then always get board of advisors, people who you trust, their sense of judgment that you can listen to. You need mentorship. Get as good every mentorship, every proper advice you can get. Be open to change your idea because sometimes the original concept can change along the line. So be willing to listen to professional advice and don't give up. Keep
Mm.
going.
No, I think that's great advice, and I think certainly something that people should take to heart as they get started on a startup or small business. So, well, as we wrap up, if people want to find out more about you, they want to be a client, they want to be a customer, they want to be an employee, they want to be an investor, they want to be your next best friend, any or all of the above, what's the best way to reach out to you or find out more?
Okay, so the best way to reach out me, I'm on Twitter. I'm not on Twitter, rather, I'm on LinkedIn, which is Izugbo, Chibueze J Izugbo, or through my email, chibueze@ebosi.com. So Chibueze, that's my first name, and then at ebosi.com is a very good way to reach me.
All right. Well, I definitely encourage everybody to reach out, find out more, support a great business, and definitely do their part. So, well, as we wrap up, first of all, thank you for coming on the podcast. Now, for all of you that are listeners, if you have your own journey to tell and you'd like to be a guest on the podcast, feel free to go to inventiveguest.com and apply to be on the show. Also, make sure if you're a listener to click subscribe so you get in your podcast app so you get notifications as all the new awesome episodes come out, and leave us a review so new people can find us as well. last but not least, if you ever have any needs for startup or as a startup or small business for patents, trademarks, or anything else related to your business, feel free to reach out to us by going to strategymeeting.com. And we're always here to help. Thank you again for coming on to the podcast.
Thank
It's
you,
been a
David, for
pleasure.
having me. Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
All right. And good luck with the next leg of your journey, and wish it even better than the last.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, sure.